couple of... No. Okay. Yeah. All righty. I do believe we're good to go, folks. Hi. My name is Steph Moon, and I'm going to be cooking this one on my own. Normally, Martin and I, we do a double act, but he likes to have his lunch, and he's gone to the president's lunch, so that's good stuff. So what we're going to do for you today, folks, this particular dishes are inspired by the King's coronation, okay? So you may have heard yesterday they were talking about the coronation quiche. Yeah, well, I'm making a quiche for the coronation, and you have all the recipes. Deb's is putting all the recipes out for you now. This particular quiche is slightly different to the coronation quiche, because that was only announced yesterday or the day before. So we're going to do my take on a coronation quiche. So I'm going to I've got some leek here. And we're just going to chop that down. What we've done, ladies and gents, is we made our quiche earlier, the actual base. I'm not going to do all of it today. I'll just do that. So we've got here some Wharf Valley rapeseed oil, our local rapeseed oil. You'll see them at the back. We're trying to use a lot of our suppliers here today, and Wharf Valley are a really important part of that. So our leeks are going in, and we're going to fry those off. But we've also got here some chicken. Now, I'm using the thigh, and we just quickly cut out the bone, and we're going to use the thigh meat for our quiche today. Okay. So has everybody had a good day so far? Yeah? Have we seen some interesting things? Yeah? Fantastic. Well, I love coming here to the flower show, and I think I love it being here, actually, in this area. It feels nice that the kitchen theatre's moved into the big hall. It feels good. Right. So our chicken thighs are just removing those bones and the skin and any of the bits and bats we don't want. Anybody who's got a recipe, if I go off piste, don't shout at me, okay? Oh, so we're going to now fry the leek. Let's trim this last one. So what I'm going to do with the chicken is just shred it a little bit, because we want to get this cooking. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm removing any sinew, any of the skin, any of the bone. So this should be lovely when we eat it. And I'm dicing it up nice and fine. So, oops. So all our raw chicken is going in. And I'm going to take my raw, give my hands a good wash. Okay. Meanwhile, the leeks are getting a nice, I like leeks when they're what I call squeaky leeks. They're not just completely cooked through. I like them to have a little bit of a squeak when you eat them. Chicken, we're getting there. That'll take a few minutes. But we need to add a few bits to this chicken. So I've got here a clean board. And I've got some garlic. Give my knife a quick wash. Right. And then the old smack on the back of the, with the garlic. The reason we do that is we want that juice. That's what we want, the garlic to start, the juice to start coming out of the garlic. And that's good stuff. So that's going in. And now we're going to work on some curry flavors. So we've got here some fresh ginger, which I'm just going to scrape down with a spoon to remove the skin, nice and easy. I always find that's the easiest way to do it, just with a spoon. Otherwise, you start to peel it and it goes everywhere. This way, it's nice and simple. Just chop that through. There we go. With the ginger and the garlic, you want it to be nice and fine. Otherwise, you don't want to come across a big bit. Nobody wants that. That's going in. We've also got some apricots. Now, these are soft. They're not very, very dry. They're dried apricots, but there's softened ones. And that's going in as well. And it's a bit coronation curry style-y. That's the plan. We've also got a few sultanas. I've got the kitchen sink as well. Maybe I'll put that in as well. Right. They're all in. And now for the good stuff. Whoops. Sorry. We got some curry spice. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's going in. I guess you should really marinate your chicken overnight and get it really marinated with the curry spices. But I think this way, we just get it going quickly. In goes the leeks. And already it's starting to smell like a party. Smells like a party I'd quite like to go to. Right. But we need to add a few more bits. So I've got here some coriander. Are we putting chili in or are we not? Yes, no, yes. Looks like it might be a yes. Right, a little bit of chili. Not too much. Half-half. And then we're going to chop the coriander. The beauty of coriander is you can use everything, including the stem. So now our chicken is pretty much cooked. Our mix is ready. Smells good. Yeah, it smells like the best coronation chicken sandwich you've ever had, but no. Right, so we're happy with that. And I just want to show you what I've done here. Now, I used plain flour, butter, and egg to make my short crust pastry, which is here. All the recipes from the demo today are on the chair over there, if anybody wants one. And all I've done is mix the flour and the butter to make a sand-like consistency, add a sprinkle of salt, and then mix it together to make my pastry. And I lined it in one of these, and you can tell I'm a chef, and literally all my equipment gets hammered all the time. And somewhere I've got all the insides of my pie dishes, but I don't know where it is. Anyway, we're improvising. My pie dish is ready, it's cooked. The thing I really wanted to show you, once it's cooked, which a lot of people don't do, is line it with egg. And that will create a seal on your pie, on your tart, or your coronation quiche. And that seal is really important because you want it to cook nice and even and, not that we get into trouble. Okay, so we're going to pop it in the oven. So our quiche is ready. In goes the filling. I'm going to pop it all in as much as I can. There we go. And then we're going to put our egg mix in there as well. Debs, have you got a whisk? Yeah? Yeah. So we're going to pop in our eggs. So I'm going to put in one, because I want this to cook in the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm going to put a few more eggs in than I would normally, okay? And rather than using milk and cream, for this particular one, I'm just going to use cream because I want it to set fast. That's why. Okay, so into our mix, a little bit of salt. In goes the coriander. Debs, have you got a cheese grater? Yeah, thanks, yeah, thank you. So we're going to add some cheese. I'm just going to start it off with a few bits of cheese in the middle. Why not? Who doesn't like a bit of cheese? So I'm going with cheddar cheese today. We're using all sorts of different cheeses. So we've got, I hope you're going to go along and see the guys from the Cheese Board or the guys from Cryer and Stott. Fantastic cheesemongers, both of them here today. And we've also got my friend, whose cheese we're going to use next, from the Yorkshire squeaky cheese. Right. So a little bit of mango chutney on the top. Why not? Here and there. And then over goes our mix. Pouring it all the way over the veg. And the chicken, like so. Thanks, Debs. And a tiny grate of cheese on the top. Yeah, just because it'll give it that really nice bloom on the top of the tart, which is what we want. Right, so that's going in, folks. And that gives me a few minutes to get on with my next dish. Okay, so let's have a quick tidy up. So the next dish, we're going to use some asparagus, because now is the time, folks. Can I have a potato peeler, Debs, if you get, yeah, potato peeler, yeah. And we've got some beautiful British, thick, chunky asparagus. Look at that. That looks like fun, yeah? So what we're going to do with our asparagus, we're going to get that on cooking. And we're going to serve it on some sourdough toast. So just going to brush the sourdough with a little bit of Yorkshire rapeseed oil. So at the minute, my sourdough smells amazing, looks good, but it's quite soft, yeah? I want to give it a little bit of crunch. So we're going to brush it with a little bit of the rapeseed oil and sit that, thanks Debs, sit that in the oven just to sharpen up a bit, crispen up. Okay. Okay. In she goes. Let's turn that tart up. I hope you're going to try it in a minute. Right, okay, so for our asparagus, what we're looking for is, there it is, we're looking for the snap point. Now, because this asparagus is really big, fat, chunky stuff, I'm going to peel it, okay? Because I think it needs peeling. If it's very thin and tender, I wouldn't bother. So let's crack on. They're called speed peelers. Thankfully, they're living up to the name. Now, normally, all this lovely shavings of asparagus, peelings on the top here, this would be going in our soup. But today, we're going to not do that. But usually, it would all get used, I promise you. Okay, folks, so now we need to find the snap, and that is wherever the asparagus decides it wants to snap. Yeah? This is quite tender, because it's quite young. This is the stuff that goes in the soup, and that's the stuff that we use. Okay. Now, it's not going to fit in my pan, so I'm going to improvise a little. A little bit of salt in there. Ready for our next bit. So to serve with our asparagus, we have got some Yorkshire squeaky cheese. Has anybody tried this yet? No? Well, Rassan, she's called. She's an amazing lady. She was a refugee. Her and her husband have come over. They had nothing when they arrived in Britain. And now I think they employ 12 or 13 people in Yorkshire. They're an amazing couple. Go along and say, Steph Moon said I had to try the Zatar squeaky cheese. But we're going to go with the herb one today, because I think fresh herb with asparagus, that's good. So, our squeaky cheese, we're going to cut it down, and we're going to cut it into little cubes for this. I mean, I like this on a barbecue, actually. Just a little bit of flour, and then on the barbie is amazing. But for this one, we'll cut it into cubes, like so. Okay, so a tiny bit of oil in the pan. Our squeaky cheese is going in. And we're going to get a bit of a sear on that. Whilst we're doing that, we're going to jump over. So we've got the tart in the oven. We've got the Yorkshire squeaky cheese and asparagus on the way. With the, we need to make our dessert. So, if it's fit for a king, it better be good. So, you know, years ago, and I mean, this is going back a long time, I actually met the king when he was Prince Charles. I was invited to go to Buckingham Palace. It wasn't the garden party, but it was called the Young Achievers Party, and it was amazing. And I've been a royalist ever since, so I'm a big fan. Right, so now, this is a Madeira cake, and like I say, all the recipes are on there, but we're going to trim this Madeira cake down, and we're actually going to crispy it up for a few seconds, the top in the oven, which is a little bit unusual. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Right. Squeaky cheese is cooking nicely. I think we're nearly there. Pop that in the oven for a few seconds. My Yorkshire rhubarb I did cook in the last demo. So I've made 2 types of Yorkshire rhubarb. This, all I did was cooked it on a tray with a sprinkling of sugar and a splash of rose lemonade. And I put a tray on top. And if you look at this, it's cooked, but it's holding its shape. It's holding its integrity. And I think that's good when you're doing a dessert like we're going to do. And then the other one, all I did was chop it up and stuck it in a pan with some sugar and cooked it so it's a bit more mushy, which is also what I want. Right. Squeaky cheese is almost there. Asparagus is almost there. I just need to whisk my double cream, so this is going to be loud for us. So talk amongst yourselves for a minute. That seemed to take forever. Right. Okay, folks, so let's start plating up. What's happened with the squeaky cheese, if you look, it's all kept its lovely shape, but now it's got some golden color, and that gives you a really good flavor on the cheese as well. So I'm now going to turn everything off, take out the cake. Just wanted it to crisp up a little bit on the top. As you can see, the soda bread has got a nice golden color on it. And let's just have a look at the quiche. It's not ready yet, but it's not far off, okay? I'll just pop that down a touch. Okay, so it's kind of afternoon tea-like, isn't it, this? Sort of afternoon tea. Right, so to plate up our afternoon tea, let's get organized. Okay. So first things first is our asparagus. Let's just serve our tomatoes. So now, a great way of cutting through a load of cherry tomatoes at once. This is a good one, and it's also really good with grapes. Hold your hand nice and flat. And just cut through. And you do them all at once. Right, so now we're just going to warm through the tomato as well. Pop our bread on the tray. Drain off our asparagus. And then we're going to pop our cheese, our Yorkshire Dharma cheese, onto the bread. I hope you're going to come up and try this, folks, because this cheese is my idea of a good time. Okay. I don't think I can get any more on there. There we go. Looking good. Let's just throw those last few bits on. Why not? And then we're going to pop our asparagus on top. We could cut it, but why cut it when it looks like this? So, or maybe stick a couple more on the middle one. Okay? So that's one. And then, because we're at the Harrogate Flower Show, we have to put a few flowers on it, don't we? A few edible. These are called violas. And these are from Rudding Park, their kitchen garden, which is open every day. You can go and have a look. Right, then our quiche, coronation quiche. I'm hoping we're ready. I think we're ready. Let's just check. So what we're going to check for, folks, is we want it to have a satisfying wobble. We should really have made one earlier and have it sliced and all portioned up. But this way you can see that we're actually doing it. That's the plan. But I'm just a bit intrigued as to how I'm going to get it out. Red hot. Let's see. Hey. There's life in the old girl yet. Right. There we go. Coronation quiche. Looking good. And I've got here some lovely lovage. So let's pop a bit of lovage around the outside. Why not? And then to go with our coronation feast, our last thing is our dessert. So, we're going to stick our one layer of the cake on the bottom. We've got our chantilly cream going in. Actually, I need to I'll just do it plain because I've got sugar in the rhubarb, and I think that I would put some vanilla and sugar in this, but actually the Madeira cake is sweet, the rhubarb is sweet. I think we'll be okay. So, here we go. We've got to stick a bit of mango chutney on top of the coronation tart. Why not? A few dots here and there, just to make it look a bit more impressive. Maybe one in the middle. There we go. And now our rhubarb cake. Just a bit of cream on the cake. Like so. Then we're going to pop our mushy rhubarb in the middle, because that doesn't look that pretty, but it tastes mind-blowing. Hope you're going to have a taste. Okay, then our next layer. And a bit more cream. Hey, it's the coronation. We'll be on holiday. We'll have all had a few glasses of wine, and everything will be good. Then we're going to go with our sticks of rhubarb. Like so. Pop our last piece of cake on the top. We've created a monster, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then, to finish off our coronation afternoon tea, oops. We'll just do a few more on the top. So there you have it, folks. That is our coronation afternoon tea. We've got our asparagus with the Yorkshire squeaky cheese. We've got the sourdough croûte. We've got our coronation tart with Yorkshire chicken, with some mango chutney, all the different flavors in there. And then we're finishing off with some of God's County's finest rhubarb with some whipped cream, chantilly style, and some edible flowers. Thank you very much, guys. And if anybody wants a recipe, the recipes are over there. I'm just going to grab a quick picture of these, and then I hope you're going to come and have a taste. Oops.